Please welcome one of the most distinguished and celebrated biographers and journalists of our time, Walter Isaacson.
Thank you very much. Ever since Max Simon and ever since Max Schuster and Richard Simon got into a car and drove themselves to Princeton, practicing Jewish jokes along the way in order to convince Albert Einstein to write a book for them, there's been something at the core of the fledgling publishing house that they created. And those are the editors. And so we end this evening celebrating one of the greatest in Simon & Schuster's history, an embodiment of the type of editor that made Simon & Schuster enduring, the indomitable, energetic Alice Mayhew. With a raspy laugh, an incisive mind, and her brutally honest margin notes. 40 years ago, when I was a young anonymous writer at Time magazine, my office mate and college friend, Evan Thomas, and I said, hey, let's write a book. It was sort of like, hey, let's put on the play. I'd been covering the Reagan campaign, and I noticed that when you went to rallies, you got the pamphlets from people about the establishment, about the Council on Foreign Relations and the Rockefellers and the Bilderberg Group. I was from Louisiana. I didn't know what they were talking about, but Evan was a preppy. And so I said, what is this establishment thing? So we spent a few days in a very tacky group house in Sag Harbor and came up with a complex chart that most editors would have totally dismissed as a book idea. A group biography of 6 very little-known statesmen who shaped the Cold War. I knew Binky Urban, who had just become an agent, and she says there's only one editor who will get what you're talking about. So we walked up Madison Street in Sag Harbor and sat on the back porch of Alice Mayhew. Just as we began our convoluted pitch, she cut us short. That's typical of her. She was always about 10 steps ahead of you. And she said, yes, I get it. It's a prequel to The Best and the Brightest, and we shall call it The Wise Men. As we were weaving the complex threads of 6 interacting characters, Alice would scribble in the margin in all caps, Atigta, all things in good time. Keep it chronological. Whenever you get stuck, remember the 6 magic words. Let me tell you a story. She was deeply informed by her lapsed religion, and she said, if chronological narrative is good enough for the Bible, it's good enough for you. The Bible, she always reminded us, had the best lead sentence ever. In the beginning, comma. I came to realize in the ensuing years that what Alice had done with us, and with the many others who took pride in being part of what we called Alice authors, was to create and build a special genre in American letters, the genre of narrative nonfiction, insider-informed books that were reported like journalism, but written like cinematic novels. It's a great contribution to American letters, and all of us who are Alice authors are honored to be a part. And there was, of course, one great pioneer, one grand exemplar of that genre, All the President's Men. And so it's my honor and great personal privilege to help close the show by presenting my friend, my mentor, and my fellow Alice author, Bob Woodward.